Alrighty guys, welcome back. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing pretty good myself. Had some new stuff come in. First off, this thing right here. You guys will need to let me know if you actually want to see a video on this. I did pick it up. I don't really collect a lot of Kaido House, but I do kind of like their M3s, kind of. The casting's okay. It's definitely not bad. I think the M3 itself is cool, but I did pick this one up. I don't know if I like it yet. If you guys want to see a review on it, let me know. I don't know. I do really like the packaging for it, though. I will say that. They actually have, like, some actual coilovers on the packaging, which is really cool. But, yeah, let me know if you guys want to see that. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a video on that, but I did get that. I got these two. The Athlete Nissan Silvia. This is literally becoming the new R35. I don't think they'll ever stop doing that casting. But I got the Nissan Veilside R32 in white. So that'll go good with the red one that came out. And then last but not least, this was kind of a smaller mix. The Veilside RX-7 Fortune 7. Really excited to look at this one. I love the red seats in it. So yeah, a few new things. Nothing too crazy, but new stuff nonetheless. It's always fun getting new stuff in. But we're going to look at this today. So, I don't really collect F1. I'm sure some of you guys know that. Just have never really been a big fan of F1, especially modern F1. But I do think these old F1 cars are pretty cool. And I'm currently getting out a couple of older ones that were released by Mini GT. So this is the same exact casting. This is the Lotus 78. This was the number 5 presentation car in the John Player Special Deco. Looks amazing. I absolutely loved this one when it came out. Loved the tires, tire printing. The wheels themselves were really nicely detailed. This one was super cool. And I do like I do really like my cigarette and tobacco companies. So I think those liveries always look really cool on cars. So yeah, that John Player Special one was really cool. That was Mini GT number 489. This one's actually really hard to find now. But yeah, I did pick that one up when it was new. And then also this one, which they've released 3 versions of so far. Oh, I just broke it. Oh, you're kidding me. I just broke it. That I barely put any pressure on that. What in the world? I seriously barely touched that. I'm going to have to figure out how to glue that back on. That is... Holy crap, that is ridiculous. So this was just sitting on that. Yeah, I don't even know. It doesn't even like... What the heck? I literally barely touched it and that thing just snapped. Okay, so that sucks, but... Anyways... We had the Tyrrell P34. Like I said, they released 3 versions of this one. This was the first release of it. This is Mini GT number 488. So these two released together. And they did 2 other versions, and they actually had the drivers in the car. I think they were from 1976. They might have also been from 1977 or 78. But it was 2 different drivers in the car, so... It was pretty cool. I actually did end up getting both of those, but then I was like, you know what? I have the rig. I have like just this one without the drivers. I think it's really cool. I don't really need multiples of this car, unless like if they did different liveries, but they're all pretty much the same livery. Man, that really sucks that popped off. That is so weird. So this was just sitting on top of the headers. This was just glued on top of the headers like that, I think. I'm going to have to look at, yeah, it had to have been. Maybe it was up forward more. Maybe it kind of sat over them like this. Maybe like right in there somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to look at photos and the box for reference and... Hopefully try to glue that back on. That is really annoying. Hopefully that does not happen with this model right here. But anyways, what we are looking at today is the Mini GT number 808. This, again, is another Lotus 78, the number 6 car from the 1977 Japanese Grand Prix, and the driver was Gunnar Nilsson. And it's got him in the cockpit, so very cool. And of course, this is licensed and approved by Classic Team Lotus Limited. And it's got a website right there too. So this is legit, super cool. And there's all the information right there. So yeah, same car, different livery. I honestly wasn't too sure that they were going to make any more of these, but I guess they did with this one. I don't know if they're making any more, but I know that we will be getting quite a bit more old F1 stuff because they're doing the Senna collection. So that brings in, I think, at least 4. And then since they're doing those castings for the Senna collection, I think they're going to start doing them for other drivers too. In fact, I think one of the yellow camel F1 cars, I don't know if it's actually going to be camel or have camel logos on it, but that yellow camel one that just went on pre-order, that one actually was not a Senna collection one. So definitely looking forward to more of this old F1 stuff. I just don't like the new F1 stuff. In my opinion, this older stuff actually had character. I don't think the new stuff does. But anyways, let's actually take a look at this thing. So, just like with the John Player Special one, really nice Goodyear tire printing. It looks very nice, done in period accurate white text. That'll be good on both sides. And then huge difference in tire size on the front and the back. Not only are the back ones way thicker, but they're also much larger in diameter too. And there's some pretty good detail back in that dish as well. You can see that center lock sticking out and then a bunch of rivets going around the actual wall of it. And then, of course, just giant barrel on that. Really, really cool wheels. The John Player Special was pretty similar. I think it was supposed to be pretty much the same, but, or maybe it was a little bit different. But this one's more of like a cream color, whereas this one has more of like a copper color. So very cool. And then there's the front wheel. Again, you kind of got like some spokes and then some rivets going around. Looks really cool. And these actually do roll quite nicely. I remember that specifically from the old ones. They do roll very nicely. Even that Tyrrell, is it Tyrrell? The Tyrrell P34 rolled really well too, even though it has 6 wheels. Man, that is such a cool car. And I know this is actually one of Glenn's passion projects too. I think he made a 1/8 scale of that on in TSM because he liked it so much. But anyways, so yeah, wheels look really nice. And then of course you do have the axle that runs all the way through. It looks like they actually painted the axle on this one in black, so you can kind of see it going straight across. So it is exposed on the bottom side, and I guess you can see it from the top side as well if you're looking in there, which honestly I think is fine. Obviously the front wheels wouldn't have had an axle that went all the way across. The back wheels probably would have, I would assume. But yeah, looks really good. They roll nicely. The tires are excellent, nice and rubbery. They're actually a pretty soft tire too. And they're kind of ballooned a little bit, so it makes them look like they're actually inflated with air. So I love that. Very nice looking. And then of course, going along with the front steering and suspension, you've got a whole bunch of crossbars that go through it. A couple coming down towards the center, and then a couple just kind of going across top and bottom. And kind of like that on the back as well. But of course, there's much more to it. All your, looks like there's probably some suspension components back up in there and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it looks really cool. So as far as the material of this one goes, because I know a lot of people, it's not very clear, but this is still die cast, but the die cast is only going to be this. Wait, is that metal? Yeah. So this bottom part, everything you see on the bottom right here that's silver is metal. And then up here, I believe everything you see that actually, I don't want to break anything, but okay, I figured it out. So this whole middle section right here, except for this air intake on the top of the cockpit. That body is all going to be metal. And then this whole like centerpiece that's a little bit brighter of a red color that goes all the way back, this centerpiece all the way up to the front, and these two wings that come out the front splitter, that's all going to be metal. But then, like, of course, like the figure in there and the steering wheel, this air intake, and then all the stuff back here is going to be plastic. But there's actually a pretty decent amount of metal on this, and I believe that the old Lotus was the same way. So it was a lot of metal and a lot of plastic too, but still decently hefty for how light of a car this would be. But the livery looks really nice. You've got Imperial International on the side in that yellowish gold text. And then you've got some dark red on the... Oh, let's not do that. That's how we... Well, that's not how we broke the other one, but I don't need to break two models today. So everything kind of like on the outer sides is going to be in a darker red, and then this whole middle section running down, including the rear wing, is going to be in a much brighter, like... maybe not a candy apple red, but just like a nice red, like normal red color. A little bit darker on the sides, though. You've got Valvoline, NGK, Nilsson, obviously the name of the driver, the number 6, Imperial logos right there on either side. Just very, very cool. I believe these are probably fuel caps. A little bit of a grill or some sort of vent detail right there. Kind of done, it looks like that is a silverish color. So very, very cool. I like the color theme of this one. It looks very, very clean. I like it. But yeah, you've got the driver in there. He's in his race suit. Helmet should be pretty accurate to his actual helmet, which is very cool. Looks like it's white with some blue and yellow. Very awesome. And then, of course, this plastic part kind of behind him. That's going to be air intake for these headers on that engine. Because, believe it or not, I think these Lotuses and these Tyrrells had the same Ford engine, I believe. I think they were V8s in these. But yeah, you can see the headers, so obviously the air is going to be coming through here and down into the headers, which is really cool. And yeah, Ford logos on the valve covers. And then obviously there'd be a lot more detail if this was a larger scale model. Like all your spark plug wires would be coming off right there. And all that type of stuff, so, or maybe the coil pack wires. But yeah, looks really cool. The engine like covers are kind of done in like a gunmetal gray. The headers in there are done in silver, and then there's just a bunch of other silver and like gunmetal gray details for the rest of like the exhaust system and whatever else is packed away in here. Oh, you can actually see the exhaust headers coming out of the block right there. That's cool. They all come down, join together, and then they just kind of run straight back. And it looks like the actual tips are done in gunmetal. So yeah, very, very cool. And then the wing support is done in silver, and then the little wing on the back, of course. Just, it looks really cool. There's some sort of container back there. I don't know if that's a fire extinguisher or what. I think somebody might have told me what it was when I reviewed this one, because it was a light blue on that one. Somebody might have told me, but it's been so long since I reviewed those that I have forgotten. But yeah, this is really cool. I like this kind of stuff. It's really unique. It's just neat. I like it a lot. I'll try to find a photo. Might be a difficult one to find a photo of, but I will try to find a photo of this. If not, I'll try to find something similar. But yeah, very cool casting. Very detailed. Very fragile. So if you get any of these old F1 cars from Mini DT ever, just be careful with it. As you can see, I literally just broke that Tyrrell, just very gently pulling it out of the tray. So, yeah, that sucks. I'm going to have to try to fix that. But anyways, I guess it is what it is. A little bit of super glue will fix that, I think. But yeah, like I said, we are going to get a lot more of these with the James Bond, or not the James Bond, the Art and Senna kind of series subset. So, and then obviously a lot more stuff along with that. I'm hoping for more of these Lotus 78s because I actually do really like that casting. So, yeah, you guys let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.